Food and weight obsession can be exhausting. Losing weight, gaining weight, dieting, feeling like a failure because you missed a workout, binged, overate, or gained all the weight back. The cycle is endless and it can be maddening. But I'm here to say you can stop the mental madness. You can take back control of your food behaviors, but you have to face your fears, you have to ask for help, and make a change. I am Leslie M. Thornton, permanent weight loss coach from hpwl.co. This is Hypnosis for permanent weight loss, and I know you can make this happen. On this podcast, you will hear how to stop the mental madness, love your body, trust your food decisions so you can create a life of happiness, freedom, and inner peace. Hello, Leslie M. Thornton, Hypnosis for permanent weight loss. But when will I lose the weight? I hear this question a lot in our program and our way of supporting people in getting permanently, mentally, and emotionally free from food, body, and weight, and being able to lose weight and permanently keep it off. We don't put weight loss on a pedestal because of what this episode is going to be about today. So this podcast is inspired by a client who just graduated our program today. Shout out to her if she knows who she is. And she listed off at the end of our program, we, talk about the wins that they've had and, the progress that they've seen themselves make. And then I asked her after she shared her wins of she found herself again. She remembered who she is, and being able to speak up for herself and saying yes to what she wants to say yes to, no to what she doesn't, feeling more energized and just back, in her life and engaged again. And then I said, is there anything else that you need to say or you want to, ask before, to have your program feel complete? And she's like, well, I know it's really not about the weight loss, but I still am a little bit bummed that I didn't see, weight loss during the initial program. So a couple things on that, because I get that. And in our program, depending on where you join in your journey, when I took on this journey, I was following a really strict eating plan for many years. And so I was on the very low end of my weight. So when I made a decision to let go of dieting and deprivation and restriction, I gained weight initially. And it was a lot, and it was actually pretty fast. And it was scary. But I guess that's a little bit the way that I do everything. The way we do anything in life is the way we do everything. I like to rip the Band-Aid off and feel the pain as quickly as possible. For other people, when they join the journey, they're somewhere in the middle, right? Where they'd really love to lose weight. They're not all the way at the high end of their weight. And that's an interesting place to be because it can be a little bit scary and the pressure can be on. And I would put this woman in that category, right in the middle there for herself. And then there's the people who come in and they're on the higher end of their weight already. They've been off track, quote unquote, for a while. And then they lose weight in that short period of time during our program. And it's really different for everyone based on where you're at. And what I always say to clients is if you ended this program and all that you did was lose weight, like every other weight loss program, I would think it was the greatest tragedy in the world. And I actually wouldn't be okay with that because it's not about, it's if we want to have our weight stay consistent and learn how to maintain our weight over time without having to think about what we're eating, without having to hyperfixate on, good food and bad food and just mentally be obsessed with it all the time, right? We're playing the long game. It's we need to do that foundational work. And something I see a lot that I saw with this client today when we kind of were unpacking this for herself was that she actually had a limiting belief that she could not lose the weight unless she was taking out every single bit of food that brought her any joy, right? Like no social eating, and worked out several hours a day. Okay, now you can take a look at your upbringing and your background of like how severe your mental fixation or the constructs that you had around you were that led you to being so mentally in that space of believing thoughts like that. And I could relate to her. So I remember back when I was like really, really strict and believed that I was a food and sugar addict. So I was on the definitely that high end of the scale of thinking that there was literally like my brain was broken and something was wrong with me, was like what was drilled into my unconscious mind. And I had a boyfriend at the time and he said like, no, you can still lose weight if you like just have a cookie, like just do moderation. And I got angry, like really mad. And I was like, you do not understand. That is not the way that my body works. And, you know, that will never be the case for me. It was an ingrained belief. Like I literally, and I was terrified of actually going that route and, you know, even imagining introducing foods that were considered bad or sugar or, you know, whatever that was off my, you know, strict eating plan that I was following. Fast forward to today, I lost weight eating anything I wanted at any time of day. Now, with that said, I did the foundational work and I was so committed to the long game of getting mentally and emotionally free for the rest of my life from food, body, and weight. Okay, so it's like your conviction for that needs to be so strong. Like, that's what I want more than anything in the world. And like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to not have this thing in my life completely consume my everyday waking thoughts anymore. All right. And so when you're playing that game, then the way to get there looks totally different than what any weight loss journey that you've done before has ever looked like. So when we unpacked it with this woman, so the metaphor, the metaphor that I gave for this is the same thing as, you know, how everyone says that, you know, if someone's really fixated on having a significant other or boyfriend or a soulmate or a partner, and they're just like really graspy, like, oh, I want to get married. I want to, you know, whatever. I want to be in a relationship. Everyone always says that the moment that you stop caring about whether it happens or not anymore is the moment that it comes in. Like, who here listening has ever heard that? Like, oh, as soon as you stop caring about it, then it comes in. Okay, this is like literally how energy works. It's how thoughts that are energy work. Okay, it's just how things can actually enter to the body. So same thing with food, body, and weight. So consider the fact that right now you are waving that flag constantly all throughout the day of, I want to lose weight. I got to lose weight. When can I lose weight? Right. And you're controlling what you're eating and saying, I'm going to get back on track. I'm going to do this today. I'm going to follow keto today. I'm going to, right. Like whatever your process is. And there's nothing wrong with that unless you feel like there's something wrong with that and you don't want to be doing that anymore. Right. That's who we help. So every time that whole thing is happening, consider the fact that you are actually unconsciously and innocently, but unconsciously pushing away your natural ability to actually have the weight loss happen. Because as soon as you let go of your mental and emotional attachment to losing the weight, that's when it can actually come in and happen. All right. So that can look different ways for different people. Like for me, I had to face all of my fears around foods that were inflammatory and foods, you know, sugar and snacking and eating at the wrong times. And like, I had to just go against the grain of everything that was so rigorously programmed into my mind in order to have the mental and emotional relief. And, it took me about 18 months total, right? In our initial program, we give you everything that you need to like get fast track out of like binging, purging, overeating, and the mindset necessary, the emotional mastery tools required to like keep you out of the emotional eating cycle. But for the entire thing, it took me about 18 months to be like, oh my God, this is like a non-issue for me now. When you think about it, the grand scheme of things, like 18 months, when it's your whole life of never having to worry about this again. All right. Or very little. But it took time, and it took that conviction that I had to have that emotional freedom. Okay. So it's not necessarily easy because the brain will fight you. It'll say like, no, but really I need to lose weight. And then, you'll step on the scale and you'll see that it goes up, and you'll, put on a pair of pants and, and like bathing suit seasons come, and like, oh my God, I'm so angry about this. Like, I get it. I was there, like totally there. But I was like, no, I'm okay with short-term discomfort in order to get long-term gain. All right. AKA weight loss consistency and not having to worry about this anymore, not weight gain. Good. So yes, you can look at, so the other aspect of this, so it's like, okay, how, right? How do I actually get myself to be unattached to losing weight and like continuing to wave that flag? Like, I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. I want to lose weight. Great question. Okay. So in my experience, it's a little bit of a couple things. Number one is actually, just like trusting the timing of your unique path of when that's going to happen. The same thing for, relationships, right? I had human design coach who I've interviewed on this podcast before ask me, she was like, oh, are you married? And I was like, no. And she's like, oh, it just hasn't happened. It just hasn't been your time yet. Right. So it's like, consider the fact that if your soul's, one of the purposes of your soul is to get emotionally free in this area of your life, right? Or just emotional freedom is just a goal of yours in general, then there is a divine timing for when that gets to happen. All right. And whether you're spiritual or not, it's still like you are carving new neural pathways in your unconscious mind, right? That still frees you up, that allows the spaciousness to come in. But there's different awarenesses, there's different obstacles, there's different life challenges, you have a different upbringing, you have a different, right? Like, it's just, but like, whatever you can trust. And I've been, doing coaching for a long time, like whatever is in the way for me right now. And I go to my coach and I just say and ask a question based on what's up for me right now. Getting that energy cleared out through that conversation opens up the next door, opens up the next door, opens up the next door. And it's like, it's perfectly aligning to like where I'm supposed to go, even though I don't really know where that is. Okay. But the point is of like, how can I clear out all of the things that make me feel anxious, that make me feel constricted, that make me feel bad, right? And learn from my coach of like, okay, this happened. I snacked too much last night. I way overdid it at a party. I way overdid it on Monday night, and I just ate and ate and ate. Now I'm mad at myself. And, now my pants are tight, and oh my God. And now I need to restrict again. And like, that's what normally happens over and over and over again. If you don't have a coach that's still just like committed to like getting you to, get rid of that old pattern and to like clear it out so that you can, again, like get to the space where you truly feel unattached to whether you lose the weight or not. It's like, yes, I would love to, right? Even for myself right now, after years of having emotional freedom, like, yeah, I would love to. I would love to. I totally have weight that I could lose, like 10, probably 15. If you talk to the right person, probably 25 or something. All right. Hey, just in case you missed it, the Hypnosis for Permanent Weight Loss book is hot and ready for you on Kindle. That's right. We've outlined our entire program in one simple read. If you haven't done so already, go over to hpwl.info/ebook and download your copy now. You'll get the exact tools we teach in our Fast Track to Freedom program, plus a full set of food freedom resources you can start exploring today. Again, all you need to do is go to hpwl.info/ebook. Now back to a regular podcast. So, but like, no, it's like, I'm okay though. Like, I'm good. I'm happy. My body does everything I need it to do. Right. This woman I spoke to today, she's like, I can still run 5Ks, no pain in my body. Like I still like have this health, like I'm not on any medication. She was like, I'm super grateful, and that's great when we feel good, when we're in a high vibe state, we're like good. Right. But then if we're feeling negative or you step on the scale or your pants are too tight, then all of a sudden we're negative and all of a sudden we're like, I need to lose weight. But it's like, we don't want to listen to the thoughts that we have when we're like in a negative space. All right. So again, answering the question of like, how do I get to a place of letting go? All right. It's like trusting the process, but getting support, like having a coach and being in a container where every time that your brain says, no, really, I think I'm ready to like start a diet, that your coach is going to support you in at least questioning it. Okay. Because oftentimes where we get the great idea to do something different and like try to control and tweak how we're doing and we're eating, nothing wrong with making adjustments, by the way, if it's coming from the right energy. All right. Those people who are my clients know, it's like, I am 100% supportive of them making empowered choices and in like that feel right. But I'm always curious of when did you start thinking this thought? And it's usually like, oh yeah, I went to the doctor last week and I stepped on the scale. So, right. And I'll be like, no, I want to do it because it's going to make me feel good. And it's like, cool. That's great. You can do that. But where did this start? And let's work at it at the root, find the root cause, feel into any feelings that are still left over that are causing you to want to control. Right. So I just had another private client today. And she was like, Monday was really stressful and I overate a lot. She was like, but since then, I've been eating, regularly throughout the day and and like, we're good. And I'm like, okay, great. That's wonderful. I'm happy to hear it. And let's look at the event that happened on Monday, because you're probably in your normal cycle of you were shaming yourself and guilty and feeling bad and angry at yourself for eating that way. And now you're like trying to do better these next days until it happens again. And then we're just still in the same freaking cycle that everybody's in. Right. And it's like, for my clients, my commitment to them is that they get emotionally and mentally free in this area of their life. And weight loss is a byproduct, okay, of the fact that they are emotionally free. I'm working on this area of my life with finances right now, right? Where it's like, okay, same thing. You see the bank account, you see the debt, you see the whatever, the bills, you have all these extra added pressures. And it's like, okay. And I want total emotional and mental freedom around money. All right. So how do we do that? Same way. Right. But it's like, I know that my soul came on this planet to have emotional freedom for every aspect, right? Relationships, everything. And you apply these same tools to any aspect of your life that you want to, right? And so my coach has mastered this, right? I'm highly invested in a coach who has she also got over her own food addiction, because her soul's also on a journey of getting emotional freedom in every area of her life. She got past that. And then she worked on the financial aspect. Okay. And she is now totally 100% free from any added stress about finances or money. Okay. Some people are like, how the hell could that happen? Some clients that I've had are like, I already have that. Okay. So again, it depends on your upbringing. It depends on so many things. All right. But it's like the commitment of like, I'm so committed to having that. Like if I could be as free as I am around food, body, and weight now, which you can as well, if you're committed to that, I right, would like to have the same thing in finances. And I'm getting closer. I know that I'm getting closer, so it's fun. So just catching back up with my thoughts here on it. Yes, just how to detach from it and let it go. Trusting your process and being so committed, like, this is actually what I want. And knowing like where this, when it's like, oh, but I really want to lose weight. I really want to lose the weight. It's like, okay, something else I want you to know about that. Every time that your brain is like really attached, why am I not losing weight? How come it's not happening? And you're watching it. I remember after a breakup that I had, and I was following my super strict dieting routine. And by the way, this client that I was originally talking about today, she used to be a dancer, right? So like very, body conscious when you're a dancer. I've worked with them before, and, so, and like athletes and whatever, it just gets very drilled in of how much it matters, like that your body is perfect and people are looking at you, and fear of judgment and comparing your body to other people's bodies. Like it gets very tightly wound in there. So it's like so much compassion and love, like, because it feels real. It feels like, no, really, this is what I want. And this is what has to happen. I get it. And it's terrifying. Right. But it's like, that's why, before we, allow anyone to join our program, it's like, you need to agree that you're going to be coachable, being okay with hearing some things you may not want to hear, right, in order to get where you want to go. Right. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's like, we got to really, pave it in, the new mindset. So, yes, when you're obsessing about the weight loss, like, no, I really like, why am I not losing the weight? Oh yeah, I was telling the story about, yes, I had the breakup. Okay. And I was following the super strict thing, and I was obsessed every single day after the breakup was stepping on the scale. Like I was crazy. And I was like, is it happening now? Is it happening now? Is it happening now? Is it happening now? Like all the time, every day. And it was during the breakup. Okay. I can clearly see now that that was a way, like, to try to fix my anxiety. Me being so obsessed and stepping on the scale over and over again was a way for me to try to fix my anxiety. Right. So like, look for yourself of like the times when you're most like, how is your anxiety? How are your emotions? Right. Because a way to try to control our anxiety or our emotions is to lose weight. So if you're feeling anxious, your brain just snaps into this automatically of like, oh no, I got to lose the weight. I got to lose the weight. But it's like, if we actually drop into the body, it's like, you probably actually need to feel your feelings and like cry and feel sad, because Leslie, you just went through a breakup, and breakups are so painful, right? They hurt really bad. But I didn't know that. I didn't have the emotional awareness then, right? It's like, we literally can't see that when we're not taught these things. All we know is weight loss, weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. That's the only thing that we know, because we've, in the past, when we have the weight loss happening, we remember that high that we get of our pants being, fitting looser, and the scale going down, and people complimenting you. It's like this, like, and it's like an anxiety reliever. Right. So it's like, you're trying to escape this, and you're trying to do it by way of weight loss, but it's a Band-Aid. It's not going to last. Right. Because you're not actually targeting what's going on here. It's a big deal. It's a problem. It's a major problem. Right. It's just why so many, everybody is so obsessed with this, like just so many human beings. So yes, it's just like, we need to, like, every time that you are thinking, where is the weight loss? Why isn't it happening? Invitation to drop in and be like, what am I feeling right now? And for a lot of us, that's really challenging. I had a client who just graduated, and she was like, I just really feel like I can't feel my feelings. And it's like, yeah, a lot of us cannot, we're not aware. She got way better at it by the end. Right. But we're just so out of touch with how we actually feel. we're just so here. We're just locked in our brains, right? Some of us have had traumatic upbringings, or we didn't get the love or nurturing that we needed. And so we had to just strategize how to like get what we needed to survive, and like nothing in the body and the feeling. Right. But I guarantee you, like, if you drop in and you really pay attention and you like actually like feel safe enough to like let emotions happen, like you probably just need to cry, or you need to feel angry. These are like our shadow parts of ourselves, right? So often, I mean, we will put out there and we'll express when we're happy and something great's happening, but then we will stuff down because it's like, nobody wants to be the downer. Some of us stuff it down. The negativity, right? And that's when the food comes in. So when we actually bring light to the negativity, and what are the negative things we're saying? What are the negative thoughts we're thinking? Like, I'll never be able to lose weight. I'm a fat ass. I can't do anything that I fail at everything that I do. Right. And as I'm saying these out loud, you'll feel that it's resonating with your body if there's anxiety there. It's just bringing it to light and letting emotions come out. And then you get level-headed and you're like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm grateful. I'm thankful, right? We're like moving up the emotional scale. You can actually Google like emotional scale and you'll see like that it's the energy that's moving upwards. And so whenever we're thinking about weight loss, the energy is down and we don't think clearly there. We don't make good decisions there. We eat more there, and everyone's getting stuck down there. Right? It's like we actually need to learn how to interrupt that cycle. Feel your feelings, think different thoughts naturally, not out of force, but because you're doing the work. And then you get higher up the emotional scale. You're feeling joy, you're feeling happiness, you're feeling freedom. And that's what we're chasing. Everyone's chasing happiness through weight loss. But like, let me tell you, happiness is a state. Happiness is a way you feel. Right? It's not something that you actually like come to. It's not something that you obtain and sustain for the rest of your life. It's something you work at. It's something you need to consistently throughout the day be practicing to, and working with the energies that are coming in, right? And we can't prevent in life when things come in that cause us to feel negative. Right. So we think that by getting skinny, it's our invincibility cloak. And I get it. I know how good it feels to be really skinny, but I also know how non-sustainable it is. I know how painful it is to gain all the weight back again and be angry at yourself and then continue to get heavier and heavier year after year and more unhealthy. It doesn't work. There's no, like, you can't avoid this. You can, but your body is going to react at some point because you're just masking what's underneath the surface. I don't want that to happen to you, right? Like so many women, they get in their 40s, their 50s, they get diagnosed with these diseases, right? But like the way that we actually create health is to connect with the fact that, and get out of the fear and out of the scarcity and doubt and anger and sadness and right? There's nothing wrong with these emotions. They're valid, but we got to work with them and work through them. And then your thinking is clear and you're happier. Like you can get happy in 10 minutes. You don't need to wait until you lose 20 pounds. Seriously, I laugh, but like, that's what you think. Like, I will be happy when I lose 20 pounds. I will be in a successful marriage and relationship when I lose 30 pounds. I will get my dream job when no, like I will be happy when. It's like, how long is that going to take? How many years have you been saying that? It's like you're literally putting off your entire life, right? And what's possible for you for something that's not happening. It's like we got to live now. You got to say yes to yourself now and learn how to be happy now. And the byproduct of happy is you start taking care of yourself better, and the weight loss happens again as a side effect to you just learning to become more masterful at living life, because life can feel really stressful. It can feel really scary. One of the number one fears of human beings is other human beings, like fear of what other people are thinking of you and being judged and all the things, dying, being homeless. Like this is what the unconscious mind is constantly afraid of. And it's like, you're just like in that survival mode, most human beings. And we want to support you in getting to the thriving mode, and it's a daily practice. But then when you get there, then the binging isn't happening, the overeating isn't happening. Good. So how to get unattached? You got to trust the process. I would get help. You got to get a coach. If you don't know how to get emotional freedom from food, body, and weight, then you got to get in the program. It ain't easy, but it's worth it. It's totally worth it to get this, if this is what you want, right? And then thirdly, of just like knowing how to actually change your thoughts and your feelings and transform them. Because that's going to quicken the process. The more that you are feeling better, the more that you're able to focus on what you want instead of what you don't want. The more that you're thinking thoughts that are in alignment to where you want to go, the quicker you're going to be able to receive what it is that you're getting. Right. So when you don't hire a coach or do a program like this, like you'll still go and you'll learn and whatever, but it's something that could take you 6 weeks probably will take you 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, a really long time. Okay. So, yeah, those are the things I would say. And just like, I hope it's helpful because I know like our brains are just wired to constantly be saying, where is the weight loss? But I'm telling you right now, if you just focus on the way you're feeling and how can I support myself in feeling good and thinking more positive thoughts, right, on a regular basis, day after day, and stay in the present moment and catch myself when I'm going in a negative spot and love myself enough to come back up and actually genuinely feel better through feeling your feelings, right? Like, then that's when all of the, like, you don't think about that anymore. Like, that's actually the answer. Like to how you actually get on this train where you can stay consistent with your eating because you're just healthier and you've tackled like that root issue. So love you guys so much, and we'll see you for the next episode. If you are serious about taking action on your struggle with food, body, and weight, then this is for you. Go ahead and text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483. Immediately after texting that number, you will get access to our free training that will tell you why you can't figure the food, body, and weight thing out, why you can't keep weight off even after you've been successful in the past, and how to actually overcome it, including a mini hypnosis session at the end. Don't miss out. Text the word hypnosis to 855-BE-ALIVE. That's 855-232-5483.